Carolina AM.
Welcome back to Carolina AM. It is Medicare Monday. I'm sure you had it marked on the calendar, and joining us today is Chris Stockman from Medicare Plans for Everyone. Chris, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And the one thing I think the government does really, really well is they make Medicare so simple for everyone to understand.
Right? Absolutely.
That does not happen, Chris.
No.
Not at all. So with that, I imagine that's probably where some of that passion starts for you to make sure people know what's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. So honestly, I feel like this is my calling. Looking back, growing up really close to my grandparents and helping them and their friends over the years, it really gave me a good foundation on helping the senior market, growing that passion at a young age. And honestly, I feel that all clients should be treated as family. Mm-hmm. And just to be able to reduce the stress and the confusion around Medicare is a privilege.
Right, yeah, and unfortunately I feel like each year there's something that changes. So here we are again. Are there changes happening this year that people need to know about?
Yes, especially this year. There's some really large changes coming in 2025. So this year we're looking at the Inflation Reduction Act, which is going to cause a lot of changes whenever Medicare is looking at coverage for prescription drugs. So if there ever was a year to meet with a local broker, this is the year.
Right, and so with those changes that's happening now, is this just for this year, or are changes happening now that affect the future?
Yeah, so no, this really, I see this as an evolving change over the years, and this is something that really the seniors needed to really have some assistance with. So, every year Medicare is going to have some slight changes, but they're never going to hit the nail on the head the first time.
Right. Yeah, and the crazy thing, you would think, like I mentioned before, they would make this so everyone could understand it. We want that peace of mind, but with the changes that are continuously happening, what are you doing to stay ahead of that curve, to be educated on this, where we feel a little helpless here? Like, what are you doing to get that info?
Yeah, so we have more continuing education than the average broker. So looking at our continuing education, every year we have to certify with Medicare, which helps us stay on top of our game. But for all other lines of insurance, it's usually every 2 years.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see, because I don't necessarily feel like everyone does that.
Definitely.
People feel like they know what they're talking about. Maybe they do for part of it, but if you don't continue to learn more, you're falling behind on the times. Now, how much do you charge, and how do people get started with you to do this and make this process so much easier?
That's the great news. Absolutely nothing. Okay. All we ask is that you pay attention and just give me a call at 843-999-5816. I'll be happy to schedule a consultation.
Yeah, and it is one of those things to where we, as we age, we want to make sure that we're taken care of and that we have our insurance that we need and all that. It's a scary proposition.
There's a lot that goes into it, and with these ongoing changes year to year, it's really nice to have someone that watches this for you, and that I can be their first point of contact. Anything they need, they can reach out to me directly. I guarantee within an hour I can have a phone call back.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, like you said, the only thing you're paying is paying attention. Or heck, Chris knows so much stuff, you don't really have to pay that much attention. He'll still take care of you and make sure that you are taken care of. So Chris, thank you for joining us here on Medicare Monday. We'll be doing more of these because there's a lot of things to cover off on. We've just scratched the surface today. So if you have questions, get in contact with him and make sure you stick around. We've got more Carolina AM coming up after the break.